It was quite a prolonged thing. So I first started getting ill when I was about 18, but we didn't know what it was. I went to the GP and they said, basically I was fine, whatever I had going on at the time would pass. And at the time, you know, my symptoms were pretty mild, so I just thought they were right. When I was 21, about to turn 22, I actually got diagnosed with bowel cancer, stage 3. At this stage, it took me getting really ill for me to get that diagnosis. So I lost a lot of weight, I became incontinent, I was passing blood like every half an hour. Yeah. I felt relieved more than anything. I think because I had these ongoing health conditions, well, these things going on for years at this stage, I was just relieved that they actually did find something wrong with me, because for so many years I was going to the doctor, they would say, oh, we think it's this, give me a different drug, give me a different diet to go on, which obviously wouldn't work, and this kind of constant back and forth wasn't actually resolving anything. So to actually sit down and have someone go, we've definitely found the root of the problem, was just a relief. So I didn't actually cry. I was kind of happy in a weird way. At the time I wasn't scared. I think it was because I didn't realise the severity of the situation. I think I didn't know what was about to happen. I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. I think a lot of people think when they get diagnosed that, you know, you have a few rounds of chemo, you know you're going to be ill. Maybe you'll have like a surgery or two and then give it a year's time and then you're all good again. But obviously, I had no idea what was about to happen. I had surgery, chemotherapy, another surgery, and then I was in remission for a solid 2 months, and then I got re-diagnosed again with bowel cancer stage 3, and it kind of came back with a vengeance. So the tumour had grown back in the same place, bigger than it was originally. So in such a short period of time, it had grown back, so like bigger than the original one. And then I had another surgery, radiotherapy, immunotherapy, and then a huge operation, which resulted in a lot of long-term complications that I'm still dealing with now, even though it's been about 2 years since that surgery. I think that's the thing, a lot of people think that once you go into remission that everything goes back to normal. Like you get told like, yeah, you're gonna be fine, and then you can carry on as normal, but that's really not the case. And again, I was kind of naive to think it would happen like that I could just, you know, go straight back to working full time, that I can carry on as normal, but you can't. And this is going to be my circumstances forever. On surface level, I think everyone appeared to be keeping it together pretty well. I think I only saw my mum cry once. I don't think I ever saw my dad cry. But I think when I was first ill, I felt like I wanted to make everyone around me feel like I was fine, like I was the one that was like making jokes and trying to reassure everyone, because I always felt bad that I, you know, was the reason for this happening. It worked for a while. I mean, I had a few friends that said that they felt reassured when they came to visit me in hospital and that kind of thing. But in reality, it kind of starts to wear a bit thin. So the first time I had cancer, it was kind of okay, but it was only when I got re-diagnosed, I did think that, wow, this, you know, I can't do this anymore, and I did start to struggle. I first heard about Youth Cancer Trust. I follow my cancer ward online, so this was on Facebook, and I saw one post pop up, basically advertising free holidays, and I was like, yeah, I'll apply, not thinking I would hear anything really, or if I did, it wouldn't be for a while. And then literally like a couple of days later, I get a phone call basically saying, wanting to introduce themselves, and we just had a quick conversation, and then next thing you know, I'd been booked up, to go on holiday, I think at the time to Bournemouth, to stay at their accommodation and meet other people like me. When I was there, I got to meet an amazing group of individuals who were very much like me, and it was one of the first times where I didn't feel like abnormal, if that makes sense. So I think it's a pretty unusual situation to be in at our age, to go through treatment, to suddenly become like disabled, sometimes overnight, to be in and out of hospital constantly. So to suddenly meet people who are in the exact same boat, it just makes it so easy to kind of get on with them, because you have so much to talk about and you all understand each other, and everyone's just so lovely. Like after I left the holiday at Bournemouth, I got really close to quite a few of the girls that I met there. Met up a few times after the holiday. Everyone's just so nice. I think being able to meet people and speak to people who are the same age, having the same experiences, helped so much. I did get diagnosed with depression, and I think one of the main reasons was because I felt so isolated and on my own. Like no one understood what I was going through. But getting a chance to meet other people like me, it helped a lot. They do become almost like a support network for you, because obviously I don't know about anyone else. I used to feel guilty reaching out to my other friends who hadn't been going through the same thing, because there was always something, you were always in and out of hospital, you were always feeling ill, you were always like being sick, not sleeping properly, not eating properly. And in my head, I felt bad because I didn't want to feel like I was just complaining to my friends, because I had a feeling they were probably starting to view me differently anyways because of the whole thing. But that kind of goes back to the whole thing of wanting me to act like everything was fine. But meeting people that are going through the same thing, you don't have to sugarcoat things. You don't have to lie about how you're feeling. And it is fine to say, I'm having a really shit day, this has happened, and people to be like, oh yeah, I've been through that. It is really bad to go through. Not only getting away, because I hadn't had a chance to go away in years at this point, but also being able to do it in an environment that also can make you feel safe while experiencing all these new things. So it wasn't just maybe my friends or family back at home. I had lost a bit of confidence because, I basically lived at home or in hospital for a couple of years. I was almost nervous to kind of get back out there and start doing things, especially kind of physical activities. But they did it in such a way that made me feel that I could do it and there was no pressure to do anything I didn't want to do. And also just, hype you up. I think it makes me feel more like a person in my 20s. A normal person in my 20s. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I like to think if something was going to happen to me again, I would still get a chance to come back if possible. Obviously, life does get in the way. But as long as I am still able to take part in things, I would come back. It's important to keep Youth Cancer Trust alive because it's not just about going on a holiday, it's a community and an opportunity to meet people like yourselves. And that doesn't happen very often when you're going through cancer at a young age. So you do normally feel quite isolated. And honestly, meeting some of the people that I got a chance to meet, especially on the last holiday, my holiday here is not quite finished, I didn't feel so alone, and I made some amazing friends who I'll never forget.